Interesting question. As far as I know, no new apprentices have entered the wellspring since Gothel's accident. But I have a bigger concern. At least Shirhari can grow mushrooms. My plants refuse to live no matter what I do. Of course, Lector Naril tasked each of us with a different experiment. I'm attempting to grow plants without the benefit of the simulated sunlight. I haven't had any success so far, but someone has to tackle the difficult experiments, I suppose. Lector Naril developed it using techniques he still refuses to share. The simulated sunlight provides nourishing energy that makes most of the plants we grow thrive. Not my plants, mind you. Oh, no, that would ruin the experiment. Otowen's been with Lector Naril the longest. She might know something more. You'll need to cross my garden to reach her. Just watch out for the blasted fabricants. They keep eating my plants and clogging up the gears. I just don't understand why my plants won't grow while Shihari and Otowen have no trouble making things bloom. It's an absolute annoyance. And so are those fabricants. Feel free to smash them to bits on your way through the garden. What's to tell? Gathal died. Happened in Lector Naril's private workshop. We're not allowed in there anymore. Now let me think. I need to figure out how to make my plants do something. Anything other than wither and die.
If you can hear my voice, step to the nearest speaking tube this instant.
Interruptions are counterproductive. The seventh law of gears teaches us that. Well, since you've already distracted me, you might as well tell me what you want. Idrono. His experiment was doomed from the beginning. You can't grow plants without a source of nourishing light. My plants thrive thanks to the use of Lector Naril's simulated sunlight. But I wasn't informed we were getting new apprentices. That was the practice until Gathal died. Then the Lector sealed his private workshop and gave us these experiments to conduct while he perfected his simulated sunlight. It makes our annual harvest possible. If there were other apprentices, I'd know. I suppose Lector Naril could have more apprentices toiling in his private workshop. He keeps numerous secrets, so what's a few more? You can enter the workshop through the busted vent over there. Ignorance of his rules might grant you some leeway. Lector Naril's private workshop is restricted, but I don't expect you to find anything. If he catches you snooping around, feign ignorance and beg forgiveness. What's the worst he could do? I suppose he could turn you into plant food.
I'm very disappointed, Sherazar. Shirhari's plaque of safe passage has been rendered inoperable. Now, return to me immediately.
Naril's a clockwork apostle. He must keep meticulous notes. We need to examine them. What's the story of how the Evermine Wellspring was created? Lector Naril picked up where Silver Seal left off. The early experiments failed, even though Lector Naril perfected his alchemical solution. I wonder how they solved the problem. Into making the wellspring work. I wonder how they finally got the simulated sunlight to nourish the plants. The source of the simulated sunlight is the life force of the missing apprentices? That's horrible. We need to see what's inside Naril's private workshop. That machine! Is that the inductor? The apprentices! It sucked the life out of them! This is the Lector's simulated sunlight inductor. And just as we read in his notes, he's using the life force of the most recent apprentices to power the device. So the Seal would never approve of this. Never in a million clicks of the Great Gear. No. If we leave, Lector Naril will just use Shirhari or one of the others. We have to do something. We have to stop this madness. People shouldn't be turned into plant food. At least not while they're still healthy and vibrant. It's not natural.
So now you know the secret of the wellspring. You see your role in our grand plan. Time is short. The life force of the previous apprentices is nearly depleted.
Why do you resist? Your life force can feed thousands! Because you fail to grasp the importance of what I do.
There's nothing to be done for these poor apprentices. The inductor has drained every drop of life from their bodies. But what of Lector Naril? He cloaks his evil in good intentions. The Lector lied. He tricked the apprentices and killed them. But the machine does allow the plants to grow and provides food for the Clockwork City. I wonder, what if someone willingly sacrificed themselves to feed the people? Yes, one life a season in exchange for a bountiful harvest. What could be more noble than sacrificing your life to feed the hungry? And I'll continue to work with the remaining apprentices. Maybe we can find another way. Someday.
How horrible! Those apostles, all dead?
Not just dead, drained of life to create the simulated sunlight.
Still, it's an amazing device. Lector Naril's a true genius.
A genius? Look at this. Naril's insane.
haven't seen Sophocile yet. Does he ever come out?
He concerns himself with divine ritual. Beyond simple understanding.
He's not looking, is he?
It's all right. Let it all out.
We tried.
Hello again, friend. Don't mind the smell, just baking up a sort of clay souffle. I'm really scraping the bottom of the ingredient barrel right now. Any luck with those mushrooms? That's great! Let's have a look, eh? Oh, that slimy son of a script. He's been lying through his teeth! I could have been growing these mushrooms the whole time. Still, his pickling recipe is just what I needed to make use of them. Great work. I hate the way people look down on slag towners. Maybe it's not enough that I help feed these people something worth eating. We're always going to be struggling until the snooty folks on high see we have something to contribute. Produce something that doesn't just help us get by, but makes people up top take notice. I'd love to take something from my homeland and give it its own slag town flair. We had some root liqueur that would have been perfect, but we drank all we had. No, I can't imagine how hard something like that is to come by in Clockwork City. Maurice never did say how he came by a case of it, but I'm not one to pry. Couldn't hurt to do some asking around though, right? I really appreciate you volunteering for all this. Not many in Clockwork City who'd stop to spit on us down here, let alone do us a kindness.
Hey, Bren, maybe send your friend to the guild traders. They traffic in all sorts.
Not a bad idea. They wouldn't give us the time of day, but
I'm gonna take a stroll. Smoky. Fancy.
Friend, the court has need of your services.
To think the halls of regulation would get to this state.
Your deeds ripple, like pebbles upon a lake. More of my merchandise will be available as your achievements grow in number and greatness.
A house and furniture go together like Sotha seal and mysteries.
Hey, you. Working with Brengelin. Come this way. I overheard you talking to Bren about the root liquor, and I had to intervene before you took off on some wild guar chase. Oh, I know you won't. That rare stock was a batch of counterfeit hooch I was trying to pass off on a wealthy mark, but she caught wise. When Bren got into it, I didn't have the heart to tell him it wasn't the real thing. I only made one batch. Suppose I could, but I based it off stuff that isn't easily come by. A part of the mix is Wellspring hooch, and I have on good authority that some students of the catalog of rote duplication keep a stash. Off limits, but that's not the hard part. The other main ingredient can't be found in Clockwork City. Stuff was stolen from the private reserve of some silk shirt in Port Hunding. Even if you could get out of this ticking prison, you'd have to smuggle a crate of the stuff back here. I'll believe you when I see it. If you do pull it off, meet me in Slagtown.
Accessing general greeting array. Hello, resident.
I just don't know. I always expected Clockwork City to be a bit more hospitable.
We need not the grace of luxury.
By Tawaka's breath, you will talk to me! Say something, damn it! The prognosticator refuses to talk to me. I request a fortune and receive only silence. Is that what my mother died for? I will destroy the false prophet, but not by taking a hammer to its shell. Instead, I'll show my people that it isn't infallible. I'll destroy it by proving that the predictions it makes are blatant lies. To do this, we have to activate the machine. As part of every pilgrimage, the faithful have to descend into the Vale of Tears and secure a working animo core from one of the factotums that roam the area. Head down there and see if any of them have a working power source. No, I can't. My mother's body is down there somewhere. If I were to find it, I'd lose my resolve and I wouldn't be able to finish what I've started. If you need my help, use this whistle. I'll do what I can from up here to assist you. Be careful in the Vale. It's dangerous down there. Where that came from, you mechanical monstrosity!
Factotum beacon activated. Initiating security protocol. Reflecting. Reflecting. Memory engaged. Gathering data. The Brass Fortress. Beginning evaluation and analysis. By Set's will, please state your query. Beginning analysis to chart possible outcomes. No relevant data in memory vaults. Error. Error. No pronouncements can be furnished without statistics to analyze. Please present yourself to a Clockwork Apostle for immediate data collection. We count the number of people residing within the Brass Fortress, tracking births, deaths, illnesses, relative wealth, and poverty, all with the purpose of evaluating and predicting social trends and growth within Lord Set's creation. Intriguing query. That is one interpretation of our analytical capability. The ongoing purpose of collecting and analyzing such information is to provide Sotha Seal with the data he needs to improve the lives of his subjects. Query. Reflecting. Reflecting. That information is currently unavailable. Please return to the Brass Fortress and seek out a Clockwork Apostle for further assistance in this matter. Dreaming. Squid jelly. A rainy day. I am a first-generation analysis model factotum, specializing in gathering and analyzing data for and about the citizens of the Brass Fortress. My gears continue to spin true.
Stand back. I've got this. On this construct. on this, construct! More where that came from, you mechanical monstrosity! Ah! Able to find an animo core? I see you've brought back an animo core. It works, I assume. Good job. While you were gone, I figured out where to install the core. There's a cavity in the machine that looks to be about the right size. I think it goes in there. I'm not sure. I never went on a pilgrimage, so I've never seen the Grand Prognosticator in operation. My mother told me a few stories. She was always vague about the Oracle. Speaking of my mother, did you find anything else down there? How did you know? Oh, you found her. I didn't want to imagine what happened to her, but after seeing what you went through down there... Wait, how did you learn my mother's name if you just found her body? A passphrase? Let me see. Fascinating. I wonder why she kept this a secret. I remember something about a sacred text, though. I'll ask Paul Botan about it later. Right now, I want to know what an obsolete factotum said after you used the passphrase. So that's what the prognosticator uses to make its dire predictions? Information collected about our habits and patterns. How insidious. It makes sense, but how can I get the people to believe it?
Memory engaged. By the will of Set, please state your query.
It worked! Prognosticator, tell me what the fates have in store for Comet of Slagtown.
Reflecting. Charting possible outcomes. Comet of Slagtown. Minimum income, inferior quality of life.
Great, you know all about me. But what does it mean? What's my future, you stupid construct?
Query. Reflecting. Prognostication unsatisfactory. Poor quality of life will lead to sickness, starvation, depression, and ultimately, death.
Perfectly dire. Just what I expected. And what about my friend here?
Reflecting. Reflecting. No relevant data in memory vaults. Error occurred. Please present yourself for immediate data collection.
Interesting. The prognosticator doesn't have a prophecy for you. More proof that it uses what it knows to make calculated guesses. But it predicted doom and gloom for me. Now I can change my future and show everyone that our fate isn't fixed. By doing the impossible. I'll find the lost treasure of the Radius. In the past, the pilgrimage included both a visit to the prognosticator and a search for the treasure. That changed after a lot of people died during an unsuccessful hunt. Palbatten survived that doomed hunt. I'll get him to tell me exactly what happened. Then, I can retrace their steps, avoid their mistakes, and find enough wealth to change my fortune. Let's go find the old man in the brass fortress.